Hey, and welcome back to Happy Little Note Trees. I'm your host, and yeah, we're going to be trying to do something a little bit new. My camera has kind of been moved around and is being used for working on a short film idea, so the other camera, I changed the whole setup. Anyways, diving right in, we're just going to build, a basic node tree that I have been thinking about for a while now that we've got node stack layers and things like that. So let's jump right back in and start building that happy little node tree. First thing we want in this node tree, if we're looking at it, is we have 3 stacks. And I've been thinking about it in such a way that I want my look dev stuff here, I want trimmy and power windowy stuff here, and basic things here. Now, whatever that means, I don't know. So we're just going to try to figure that out. But yeah, so we're going to start with just getting our color space transform up here. Actually, I will put my noise reduction first. And so we're going to just have that there. We're going to disable that and we'll put another serial. And we'll drop in our color space transform. And we're going to just, I know this was, the image was Canon. I think it was, if I recall correctly, I didn't shoot this, somebody else did. Rack 2020, and then it was Canon C Log 3. And we're just going to put that in Davinci Wide Gamma, Davinci Wide Intermediate. That's our working space of our timeline, and everything else is none. And after that, we're going to put 2 serials, and maybe a 4th. And we're going to label this one, we're going to change this one to linear, and we're going to change this one to linear. Now we're going to rename this node label exposure, contrast, and we're going to name this one balance. And this one we're going to name sat. And this one, yeah, we have that. And then we did that for this one as well. And just put in our gamma linear sat. We're going to use a DCTL here. So we're just going to drag my, DCTL on there. Put that there. And we're going to go pick up, so this is from mononodes. I like mononodes. Mononodes is a lot of fun. We're just going to pick their Hissat tetrahedral. This one. So this one is one that has a skin sat, and that's our basic thing right there. And that's where I tend to use this as a trim to either boost up or take down. But when I think about it, at this point, we're going to drop in another node. So we're going to drop this in here. And the reason I do scatter here is now we're in Davinci Wide Gamut. So this is what I use for bloom. And what I like to think about is, at this point in our node tree, all the stuff that happened here, getting us from Davinci Wide Gamma into Davinci Wide Intermediate, working in linear and things like that, and then scatter. I like to think about we've deconstructed the process a notch to, we're kind of getting back to what was happening on set, and this is where we're making tweaks to the image more similar to what it was like when I was working on set. And then our look dev, and then all that funnels into look dev stuff that all of our shots will have. So this is kind of where you're going to come back once you have your look dev done, that you'll come back and tweak the balance, tweak the exposure, trim in the sat and things like that. But scatter is up there in the front because that's kind of where, if you're going for a filmic look and you're wanting to do filmic-y things, it's right around here that you could probably say that in the sense of things, it's getting what it's done on the film stock right about here. So we'll just use this. We'll just double check that it's Davinci Wide Gamut, and we're going to turn that off right there. So that's that. And then And so what's happening there is we're adjusting everything that we want going on underneath and making fiddly bit adjustments. And then we have our secondaries. So that's kind of just our main flow. We'll add a node here, corrector, and a serial off of that. And so we have this coming off of our transform going in here, and we'll add a layer mixer or parallel mixer right here, and just put those back together. So that's just kind of some stuff if we want to come hop into the secondaries and do that separately. So the next thing we're going to do is just hop over. We're going to start here. We can just do this real quick, but parallel. And then after this, we'll do a serial, and we'll add in, oops, let's undo that. Undo. So we want to do a serial after that, and then parallel. And then after this, do a serial. This way, that when I'm using my microplano and I go previous node, I'm working in order and making sure that all the numbers flow consistently. I hate when 6 is over here, because then when you do previous node, it's going to go from 1 to 6. It doesn't go left to right. So that's just a thing that I like to keep in mind. And we're just going to do this and say pwade 1. And we'll change this label to pw2. And this one to pw3. And one of the things we'll do after this is we'll get another DCTL. So this is a lot of our exposure and a lot of other things, so we'll just drop that. I'm going to drag in a DCTL here. This one is high-low trim, and so we're going to trim the high. We'll call this high trim. And then we'll just take that, copy it, serial, paste it, and node label it as low trim. So these are 2 DCTLs that I use from Colin Kelly. They're just really nice. You can show the curve, and you can kind of just bring in your highlights and just adjust a trim level before it ever gets to your look dev. Kind of bring in the highlights, kind of get things, if things are a little all over the place, who knows? After that, we're just going to go, we have this. This is kind of just our play around. You want to put in a power window. Sometimes I'll have my power grades saving where I have like my vignettes, and you can just drop those in. Or I've thought about wanting to move them up for some reasons. Just clean that up and make that look nice. Yeah. I don't know. We're just working on that. Now we'll get to the fun stuff, because this is where the magic happens. So here is where we start getting into our look dev, and this is where it gets fun. Because this is where you do the stuff that covers all the shots. And this is going to be a main power grade that plop it in. This is where we start every project. And it's our total kind of cinematic fixed node tree, if you could say that. I don't know. So at this point, we've kind of brought in all the things we want to bring in. And, oh yeah. Did I do that right? No. 7, 8, 9, 10. Annihilation. So the grain would be in between. I did that wrong. So I do like, well, shoot, grain. I'm going to have to refix this because I'm going to be upset about those numbers. But here, we're going to just start with, at the beginning, we're going to bring in, now if you don't have it, it's okay. But this is where a DCTL called Contour is a lot of fun, and it allows you to do a lot of things. And I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to pop parallel. Or layer mixer. Welcome to layer mixing node. We're going to clean up that node graph like that, and we're just going to go with a DCTL. And this I don't know about you, but managing your nodes means I rarely ever use the Resolve color management ever. And so this is JP 249. What I find is that my preferential, so just copy this for now, and just do boop, boop. And you can see, there we go, we're now in Rec 709. So that is already put out there into the world, and it's a layer mixer, so it's whatever's on the bottom, because it's just the normal that goes over the top of everything. We're going to change this to open. Personally, I like JP249. It's quick, it's easy, but if I want to compare and contrast before I get started, OpenDRT is kind of where I want to start. It's a neutral place. This one, we're going to switch to Tesseract. And so these are the three that I've been, as a DRT, liking the most. And that is our basic node tree. And so you can see, now we have OpenDRT, and this is going to be Davinci Resolve. So we're going to just go X709, X709, that's our outdoor display. That's what you guys are looking at on the big monitor up there. But we can actually toggle through these now by just going, that's Tesseract, and that's JP249, Tesseract, OpenDRT. I just like how OpenDRT puts that warmth back into the skin tones a little bit more than the other ones that roll off as we got to our highlights. I tend to like to start with OpenDRT, and that's kind of where it's at. So then we got contour. And this one is going to be another DCTL. It's going to be sat. It's in the double. So this is technically, after I'm done using contour, it's kind of it's a way to kind of just drop in and do some fun things where you can tweak. So I use mononodes double sat density. I think it's this one. Yeah, so skin sat. There we go. Node label. So this is kind of a weird place to do like a sat and density trim, like for the overwhelming look. Like if after contour I'm still like, well, I'm not feeling this and I need to tweak it and need to bring it back in before my look dev. Sometimes I'll put one of these after. And then we're going to just do, so we'll be right there. So we'll just do copy and paste. It's kind of a way to just tweak at the different levels. And we're going to do this one called hue. So if there's anything that is off, single. There we go. So you can see we can tweak the hues individually. So this actually kind of works like color slice a little bit, but I don't know if I feel just are a little bit smoother, a little bit slicker. These ones are just, if I want to add anything else in, I just leave them for right now. I've been doing a lot of I used to have my split toning after. I've been doing a lot of split toning in contour. So because contour has this aspect where you can go show the split curve, and I can see on the screen what color I'm putting where, and I can select very easily in choosing my shadow hue. I like this ability to dial and just know exactly what hue at the maximum I'm getting, and then knowing that it rolls off back to a neutral white on the way out. So that kind of depends. And so then you can add in your contrast curve, and you can kind of see, well, that's my split and that's my contrast curve. And we're just getting crazy and doing some look dev right now. And just tweaking it because we can. No one says we can't do work when we're building it. The only thing is when we say this is the power grade, we're going to want to turn all this off and reset this back to a neutral contour. So the only ones we really have active are the DRTs. And then after that, because you never know, things happen. You don't want to be caught out in a gap with something, and a fixed node tree is helpful. On the top end, I already have it here. This is my basic setup at the timeline level. for doing things like checking the skin and quality control things. Where's my clipping at? And an isolator. And I do it at the timeline level because then it goes across all my clips and I can kind of quickly go through and check all my skin tones and do all that. So there you have it. Hopefully you liked this short. It turned into about 15 minutes worth of time, but I'm working on this new setup because I used to have the camera on the other side and I did screen replacements, and one of the things people were like, oh, when are you going to do another video? And it's like, well, I did a bunch, but it takes a lot of time to process it like that. I do like doing it like that. This a lot easier, but the screen, but instead of like just recording my one screen on my GUI, I've actually got really complex recording going on where I'm recording all three screens. Also, I have my clean feed being piped back in to my recorder and recording the clean feed separately, and then I'm putting them back together in this display format that you can see separately. So if you like that, we're going to try it out. It's a little bit quicker, a lot easier for me to do things like, hey, I just want to do a quick little setup, let's get into it and grade a little. But here we go. We've just done 15 minutes of building out my fixed node tree for 3-layer node stacks. I have a 4-layer one that I'm kind of abandoning because I feel like that extra layer of the node stacking was just too much and wasn't really doing it for me. So if you like this video, please be sure to like, subscribe, do all those other YouTube things. But yes, hopefully you enjoyed making a fixed node tree with me. Oh, there we go. And trying out this way to kind of quicken up the pace of post-production on these videos so that I can do a little bit more flexible. I don't always have time when things are happening and people are running around and the world is getting crazy, especially with 3 kids. So until next time, like, subscribe, click on the other. I don't even know where to point now that I changed this. I think it would be pointing to my left is where, or in the center. I don't know. See you in the next one.